Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here, and sorry I've been a bit quiet the last little while, and I'll explain why as we talk about what's going on. Now, the energy has been building all week up to this climactic, very unusual, very rare conjunction of the planet Uranus, the planet of chaos, of change, it rules the internet. It rules freedom, it rules revolution, it is in Taurus, and the north node of the moon, which is a faded point in space. The north and south nodes of the moon. The north node is traditionally called the dragon's head, or Rahu, in Vedic astrology, Indian astrology. And the south node is called Ketu, it's the dragon's tail. Okay, now, these 2 points, the north node and the south node of the moon, are what create eclipses, and there are at least 4 eclipses every year. So they're something that astronomy and astrology still use the same terms. Because, once astronomy, astrology, and being a doctor was once part of the same job description. So, faded time, Uranus, which has been traveling through Taurus since 2018. There's a little kitten jumping around my lap here. And will continue to jump around. The nature of Uranus will continue to move through Taurus. You can hear it purring now. Will continue to move through Taurus for about, it takes 84 years for Uranus to make one complete aspect. So on average every 7 years, which is equal to a Saturn cycle as well. Sorry, this is shaking too much. These planets intersect. Okay, now, the other thing that's really important is, now they're not showing you that Uranus and the North Node are actually meeting on this chart here on the 31st, which is on the bottom. But then the planet Mars, the planet of action, will also meet up with Uranus and the North Node the next day on the August the 1st. So we can feel this energy coming. It moves, actually, Mars conjuncts the North Node at 11:04 a.m., that specific daylight time, and then it conjuncts Uranus at 4:53 p.m. Again, this is Pacific Daylight Time. So you would add 3 hours to Eastern Daylight Time and another 5 hours to Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so what this means, it's at 18 degrees plus, let's round it out, 18 degrees plus Taurus. Now that is a fixed sign. Sorry, I have to let this cat down here. Mars is in Venus's sign, of course. So Mars is not strong here. Or Mars would be like the red flag, very literally, goading the bull on, So don't bait the bull. Now, so Mars would be more like a passive-aggressive energy here in Uranus, which means it could be a little bit harder to hone in on. Okay, now because Uranus is taking 7 years to travel through Taurus, and all Tauruses are fixed signs, which means they hate change. Of course, they're going to be resistant to the cosmic cattle prod of Uranus. Okay, now, Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius, okay, is, prodding Tauruses to change. So you can see up here, just above here, Mercury in Leo opposes Saturn in Aquarius. That was the last aspect on the 30th in Pacific Daylight Time. Actually happens on the 31st in Eastern Daylight Time, where I am in Toronto, Canada. So again, Mercury is the planet of communications, thinking, consciousness, and Leo, the sign of the heart, the golden rayed source, center stage, dramatic sign opposing Saturn in Aquarius. Now Saturn is retrograde. So again, Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. It is restriction, it's reality, it's testing, maturity, seniors, obstacles, time, father time, patience. So the patriarchy, that is why they're resisting all of the wave of change, the dual waves of change coming as Aquarius really begins to set in, I believe, next year when Pluto enters Aquarius. So Saturn, the modern ruler of Aquarius, Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, Uranus is the modern ruler. Okay, now, so today here we also have the moons in Virgo, which means we're going to feel a little more grounded, but more stable. We're able to listen to our gut instinct. So the aspects of today, you can see there are 2 inconjuncts between the Virgo moon and Jupiter in Aries, and then later at night, Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer. So quincunxes or inconjuncts are when any two planets, are 150 degrees apart, and they literally cannot see each other, so they're in each other's blind spots. So the moon in Virgo is very modest, wants us to tune in. It's a receptive sign, it's an earth sign. It would be good to get yourself grounded, go barefooting, walk in nature. We're also on the verge of going into one of the major 8 cross-quarter dates in the year, which is August the 1st, called Lammas, traditionally to pagans. And so, for it to be in the sign of Virgo is really nice. Virgo is the sign of harvest. It means in the northern hemisphere here, we're halfway to the actual autumn equinox. I know summer's gone way too fast. But the inconjunct there, Jupiter in Aries has no patience. It just wants to move forward. Now, Jupiter is virtually standstill in the sky right now, and also at its most powerful. Jupiter just started to go retrograde a couple of days ago, but it virtually hasn't moved a degree. So when planets, and this is the biggest planet, is stationary, it is at its most powerful, whether it's stationing to move retrograde or stationing to move direct. Jupiter, most powerful. Okay, now Jupiter and the Sun have a beautiful major trine today, 6:36 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time. This is one of the best days of the year, and even better because the Sun rules Leo. Okay, so it's really a golden showered blessing. Jupiter is the planet of luck. So if you have any planets, as the Sun trines Jupiter at 8 degrees, again, 8 degrees Leo, this is really good for you. So 8 degrees of all fixed signs. So the fixed signs, 8 degrees Taurus, 8 degrees Leo, 8 degrees Scorpio, 8 degrees Aquarius, get the big blessing here. So make big wishes tonight as this golden energy comes into fruition. Venus is also square Chiron and Aries. So Venus in Cancer wants to mother, wants to nurture, wants to soothe, wants to cook you some chicken soup for the healing balm, the Jewish penicillin there. Venus in Cancer, it's family wounds that are at odds with each other. And family wounds are the most common and run the deepest, So it can be issues literally with your mother or a sister or a female figure, a woman, or somebody carrying that kind of divine, feminine, nurturing, mothering energy in your family. And the square is a challenge. We're defensive. We don't want to open up. We feel like we need to be safe. And Venus in Cancer needs emotional safety, security, home, that kind of foundation more than anybody else. So it's a time to really tune into the Great Mother. Venus in Cancer would represent the archetype of the Great Mother, and really receive her nurturing as if you're, just being nourished by her, by the love of human kindness, by the Milky Way itself. That's really the symbol of the goddess's milk, nurturing us, the stars, the cosmos, the galaxy. The Virgo moon then in conjunct Chiron and Aries. Again, this kind of defensiveness, maybe a bit too defensive, and your body will register this. Virgo is the sign that rules the upper digestion, especially with Venus in Cancer. You might all be finding that your stomach is way more sensitive. Venus in Cancer rules the tummy, and the moon of Virgo rules the upper digestion. So these two together, having any challenging aspects, I can guarantee you tummy issues, upset stomachs, digestive issues. You're not digesting very well, especially with Chiron and Aries. It has to do with your defensiveness about not wanting to feel your feelings or not wanting to move forward, or something sort of holding you back. So the Virgo moon then sextiles Venus in Cancer. So here's later at night, it's like, yeah, I'm going to make myself some hot milk and get sentimental and think about what makes me feel good and what makes me feel safe, and I want to eat something that makes me feel good. I want to give myself big hugs. I want to reach out to some other women that I need to support, or somebody in my family. I want to send hugs out to the world. Venus in Cancer, the children of the world, there's still children being child trafficked and 30,000 children dying every day. So generally sort of really sending a birth prayer out to all those children and women, the mothers, women's reproductive rights. It's all part of the same thing, whatever your politics are. And then, now these aspects are in Pacific Daylight Time, but of course they will follow on August the 1st. Virgo moon trine Mars in Taurus, and the moon trine Uranus, because they're at the same degree. So again, this is a big opportunity to make some big practical changes in your life. Virgo is the sign of practical details. It's like clean your house, do something totally different, something radical, something freeing. You may want to move, especially with Venus in Cancer. You may want to move, may want to redecorate, you may want to declutter, especially. It's a very much a Marie Kondo kind of energy there, radically. You know, redesign your place. That's Venus in Cancer. You know, try a different style. Would be a good time to, you know, start a new clean, healthy eating program, or listening, you know, anything to do with regulating your hormones. Okay, so all of that's going on. And then on the first, Mercury trines Eris. Now she's the goddess of disturbances, and she's moved up to 25 degrees exactly, Aries. So Aries, Mercury, so she's the troublemaker. She delights in bloodshed and trouble. So that can also indicate, because this energy with Uranus, the North Node, and Mars, the major thing I wanted to talk about here is how dangerous it is. Okay, Uranus rules explosions, it rules radicals, it rules freedom fighters, it rules uranium. So there could be danger of a nuclear strike or a spill. I hope not. Especially in the oceans with Venus in Cancer, we don't want another Fukushima. That one's never been stopped. It's totally polluting all the oceans. So anything sharp, anything dangerous, anything potentially explosives. It's a holiday weekend here in Canada. I think it is in the US too. Be very careful around barbecues or with knives, or especially with guns. There could be shootings. There could be mass shootings. There could be very weird, unpredictable energy. Definitely earthquakes, volcanoes, earth changes. Crowds, you know, people just acting unpredictable and chaotic. You know, it's like a bull run, the bull market. Now, cryptocurrencies, which is ruled by Uranus, has gone up a bit over the last few days, so I would attribute it to that, but it could just as quickly change course, especially with that Aries energy now in that. So Mars conjunct the North Node. This is a fated energy, some push, some action, some explosion, some, you know, Mars, the masculine in Taurus, under Venus's rule. Interesting, left with Venus in Cancer. Again, some kind of very underground, like looks like, could be Yellowstone Park, a geyser going off is the image I'm getting, or some kind of breakthrough of the Earth's crust. So it could be a big lava explosion, or an island rising out of the ocean, or one sinking, but definitely very, very radical change, invention, pioneering, especially to do with ecology, with the moon in Virgo under this energy, because the moon is always the mood of the people. I think the history of these aspects, which go back every couple hundred years and thousands of years, have to do with technological breakthroughs, so expect that. So again, the Mars conjunct Uranus is at 4:53 p.m. That's Pacific Daylight Time on August the 1st. Venus also sextiles the North Node. So Venus there, so it's kind of actually they're both interconnecting with the North Node. So put out your intentions. Now Venus is at 18 Cancer, so it's all very feminine, receptive energy. Put out your inner masculine and feminine energies. Where do they need to go to align? They are in a harmonious alignment. Okay. So think about this. It's a very pivotal time. I mean, the Sun, Jupiter is giving blessings. Jupiter can exaggerate anything, so actually it can amp up, you know, whatever you're out of alignment with your heart. It can be heart attacks. Be careful. I know it's very hot in a lot of parts in the world. Stay hydrated. That's Venus in Cancer. Again, Uranus conjunct the North Node is like the shock and awe. You know, it is like the Tower card, very much Mars. In the tarot, number 16 is the Tower. Okay, and so, but it's very much a Uranian energy. So expect the unexpected. Okay, this is like chaos theory, for real. You know, what can we really control? Actually, not much. We can only control our own responses. So Mars conjunct the North Node is, where do you want to drive to? What values? You know, Taurus's values. What resources? It's the land. You know, the revolutionary energies of the Dutch farmers. You know, literally they're throwing cow manure all over the highways to protest, and cows are being killed on purpose. This is all part of the big World Economic Forum trying to take over, trying to starve people. We need to wake up quickly, people. This is a very good, you know, red light wake up call. We have to start the revolution now. Okay? There's no more being on the sidelines. Okay, you see red, the bull sees red. Okay, we need to have the bull run to clear things up, to start the revolution. Okay, this has nothing to do with communism or anything like that. It's just that the people, what Aquarius, a dual sign, is about the people taking down the hierarchical powers, which at this point is corporations, which is big pharma, which is the war machine, which is the social media, that's the MSM, that's totally fake. We have to take the power back into our own hands. So start the revolution. Remember that Pluto will enter Aquarius on March 23rd, 2023. That's not that long off from now, okay? So the clock is ticking down, okay? So look at where 18 degrees, and I would say you could extend it to 5 degrees before, so say 13 degrees Taurus into 16 degrees Taurus, and also those degrees 13 to 16 of all fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Those areas, those degrees are the most hard hit. Look at where those are in your chart to look at where you need to make the biggest changes. 18 degrees is right on my descendant, 18 degrees Taurus, right on my descendant. So there's some big changes in how I'm going out in the world. It's partly why I've been so quiet, because there's been a lot going on for me with my family. Anyway, sending you many, many blessings. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com.